say one bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a podium a sing anthem too. Red stripe, watch out, watch out, watch out. Man, shall I be the forward boy? Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
Occasion Red Stripe Premier League Mondays. The venue, the Anthony Sports Complex in Southern St. Andrew. The teams, Arnett Gardens and Harbour View. The broadcasters, Sportsmax. Your friends for the next 90 minutes. George Davis and Chris Taylor, the teams in the tunnel, getting ready to enter the field of play. It's 26 degrees Celsius on the outside, set to get appreciably hotter when this game gets underway. It's a meeting of Premier League royalty. Arnett Gardens, the defending champions, and Harbour View, former champions, both heavily pedigreed, both with a point to prove, maybe even 3 points, Chris.
Yes, certainly. 9 Premier Leagues between these two teams. Arnett Gardens have won this competition 5 times, as you mentioned, the defending champions. Harbour View 4, but not since 2012. Harbour View in last season placing 9th. The blue and yellows, their lowest placing since coming into this highest level of competition in 2005.
Arnett's inspirational captain O'Neill Bigger Thompson on the right of your picture with the captain's armband. His counterpart from the Harbour View team marching through. Not toy soldiers, these are real soldiers, men ready for battle. The evening is cool, the conditions are good. The underfoot conditions, to be precise, may be a bit soft in places, but we were on the pitch, Chris, and the field is firm enough to not have them sliding around on the surface, so we should have good football.
Yes, certainly, and that's the important factor. You want to make sure that the soil underneath is still firm, so the footing can be firm, especially when trying to execute shots and passes and so on.
All right, so O'Neill Bigger Thompson will start the introductions. Michelle Cunningham, the assistant brand manager of Red Stripe, meeting these players yet again. The sponsors love these Monday night occasions, love when Sportsmax brings the cameras and rolls out the production for occasions like this, because it represents the best of the product, putting the best of the product out there. And Red Stripe will be hoping for a big match between two of the storied teams in Jamaican top flight football. There's O'Shane Nation, the referee, and his colleagues, the Harbour View captain wearing the number 7 shirt, Kamar Bennett. He plays in the midfield, and he begins the introduction of his boys as well. Harbour View beaten in their last game, falling to Reno at home in a rescheduled game. Arnett Gardens travelled to Spanish Town, and in a bruising encounter against Portmore United, they left with a point to preserve their unbeaten record. They are looking for capital gains this evening as we line up for the Jamaican national anthem. The anthem has come and gone, signaling the end of the formalities. There'll be the small matter of the spinning of the toss, the teams greeting each other, and then we'll be ready to get underway in this contest. One of the players I'm looking forward to see, Chris, is the man wearing number 8 for Arnett Gardens. His name is Vishanul Harris. Has been bothered by injuries in recent months. Had an injury hit campaign last season, but still did well enough to help his team at the business end of the competition. Has had another disrupted start to this campaign, but he's so important for the team playing in red and black.
Yes, certainly, and plays in that number 10 role, almost an attacking midfield role. Creative mindset to him, Harris. It'll be interesting to see how he comes to the fore.
Both captains, Bennett and Thompson. O'Shane Nation assisted by Omar Mills and Damian Williams. The fourth official is Carl Tyrrell. A good, solid refereeing unit. Referees have come under pressure in Jamaica in recent times, recent days, following that incident in the schoolboy competition, the Flow Cup, Super Cup semi-final. But the officials got it right to the letter of the law. Is the common consensus by persons in the know, and these four men represent the best of local officiating on the field of play where football is concerned. They are ready. We are ready. The teams in the huddle. Arnett Gardens, 9 games without defeat, Chris. And their soldiers tonight are Damien Hyatt in goal, O'Neill Thompson, the captain, Javier Johnson, O'Neill Anderson, Jamar Martin, Fabian Reed, Vishanul Harris, Kenil Hyde, Damari Deacon, Tamara Edwards, and Marvin Morgan. On the bench, they have the likes of Steve Clark and Newton Sterling. In terms of the formation, Chris, no surprise, Jerome Wade, 3-4-3.
Yeah, always 3-4-3 for Jerome Wade. Look out for Fabian Reed, the number 13, and Marvin Morgan, very quick off the wings, talented players. And as you mentioned, playing behind them, Vishanul Harris in that attacking midfield position.
All right, so Arnett Gardens, then Harbourview. Their soldiers in the battle. Joel Johnson in goal, Demarley Oliver, Ajani Talbot, Ryan Wellington, Hugh Evans, Sheldon McCoy, Kareen Manning, Kemar Bennett, their captain, Andrew Allen, the upstart, Michael Lutas, and then Daniel Green. Ricardo Baby Gardner goes 3-5-2, Chris.
Yeah, 3-5-2. Packing the midfield as we see Sheldon McCoy, former JC, stand out in the middle of the park in the 45. Look out for Michael Lutas as we talked about him up front in the number 19.
Lutas, number 19. I say he's an upstart. If you wanted a more fancy word for upstart, Chris, I could give you Parvenu, P-A-R-V-E-N-U. But we're not into wordsmithing this evening. We're into talking football. The referee has indicated to the Harbourview boys that he's ready, and he's also now tapped his watch to indicate to the Arnett Gardens team that he too is ready for them. And they break the huddle, and now the phony war is over, and these teams will battle. Arnett Gardens battling to remain atop the, well, not battling to remain atop the standings, battling to retain their unbeaten record. Harbourview looking for 3 points against the defending champions to really send a serious message around the league that they mean business this year. So Fabian Reed gets us underway. Harris. This is Damari Deacon, the man they call Hustler. Kenil Hyde. Big part of the Arnett Gardens win the last time we were here. And Arnett knocking it around in the back. Harbourview, not really a high press just yet. Javier Johnson shares it with Hyde and turned over. This is Lutas, but Daniel Green shifts it. Looking for passing options and crowded out. Marvin Morgan, his first touch. Doesn't have many options in front of him, so he waits. Inside to Edwards. Back to his skipper, O'Neill Thompson. Johnson. Long ball looking for Deacon on the run. But can't get any change. He doesn't out of Johnny Talbot. Chris, you expect what kind of approach from Harbourview? Aggressive, or they'll allow the game to build its own momentum?
Well, I expect them looking to use the wings as well, as we see Jerome Waite there, the head coach of Arnett Gardens. And as you mentioned, Harbourview playing with the 5 within the midfield, probably looking to use the width of the park and attack Arnett Gardens down the flanks.
Manning off on a run. Has he over dribbled? Keeps it in. Ball intended for Lutas, cleaned up by Bigger Thompson. Recycled, Harbourview in possession once again. This is Talbot. Has some time. This is the skipper, Bennett, under pressure from Deacon. Bigger Thompson picks out Harris, his cushioned header back to Edwards. Anderson. Players so far adapting to the sticky surface. It's a bit heavy on the underfoot from the rain that attended Kingston earlier. This is Deacon. Hyde. Long ball forward. Can Harris get there? The defender under pressure. And goalkeeper Johnson comes out and snuffs out the danger. This one aimed for Green. Lutas on the chase as well. Martin has to be smart and his header is sure.
We mentioned that the field is heavy. However, with the little rain, it will actually aid in that as well, because even though the field is heavy, with the rain, it will make the ball skip across. So it kind of works in the favor of the play.
Here's Anderson. Deacon has some space now. Hyde on the overlap. Deacon comes in midfield. Still Deacon. Still going. Uses all crucial tackle. Harris with a shot outside of the foot. He was trying to bend it. Visional Harris took a deflection. First corner of the game to Arnett Gardens.
I don't think he got enough pace behind that shot anyhow to beat the goalkeeper. Good challenge it was there, well timed.
Deacon looks to be on corner duties. A small man, not much of him. Let's see if he has the power to get it into the box. Swung to the near post and into the side netting, and he offers the hand of apology to his teammates.
Yeah, that was a poor delivery, unfortunately. I'm not surprised by the apology.
So, Jerome Waiter, member of the national coaching setup for Jamaica, and his opposite number is a man who has played with distinction. Ricardo Bibi Gardner, homegrown, sent to England after starring for Jamaica at the 1998 France World Cup, and one of the best players in Bolton Wanderers history. That's no mean feat. That club has been around for decades. Gardner leaving his imprint there and trying to nurture the next wave of Jamaicans making a name for themselves overseas. Charity begins at home though. He has to get Harbourview firing in the Premier League. Lutas picks up possession deep for Harbourview. Doesn't have many passing options. Back into his defense. Talbot calls for it. Talbot gets it.
And as you mentioned, the Ricardo Bibi Gardner, of course, his entire coaching staff are former Reggae Boys players as well. Fabian Taylor is his assistant, and Neil Bigger Smith is the manager for the club, manager for the team. And all those three former Reggae Boy representatives, former players at Harbourview as well.
Here's Bennett. Pass cut out by the retreating Deacon. Marvin Morgan to Fabian Reid. Looking for support, Reid is. Hyde gives it to him on the overlap. Hyde charging forward. Not much in the box in terms of options, and he loses the hand. Good recovery tackling. Talbot trying to send it long, trying to pick out Damian Green, but the pass goes askew. It's an Arnett Gardens throw. So Arnett Gardens, by virtue of playing at home, looking to have the advantage, but it would be inaccurate to say the advantage is held by either of these teams in the first 6 minutes of this contest. Hyde having to retreat a few paces to take the throw. This is Anderson, energetic, strong. Bigger Thompson, experienced, wise. Trying to dink this one over the top for Reid. It comes to Reid now. Trying to turn. Yes, Reid does turn, and just at the critical moment, got the ball knocked away from him. This is Bennett for Harbourview on the break. Trying to pick out Damian Green there. Back in defense. Wellington under pressure from Reid. Still Wellington. Confronted by two Arnett Gardens players and protesting that he was fouled. The referee nation agreeing with him. Marvin Morgan protesting his innocence. So the rain has prevented us from getting a full house inside the venue. Of that I am sure. Arnett Gardens and Monday nights synonymous with quality in every respect. Bad touch by Lutas there. Hyde, Edwards, Harris. Haven't seen much of him thus far. Here comes Allen. Nice switch. Thompson goes across the cover. Thompson's tackle is good. Has not won it cleanly. And the Arnett Gardens players end up crowding out the Harbourview winger at the expense of a corner. Harborview have committed 6 men to the box as this corner is taken. Another man lurking on the outside. That's Sheldon McCoy, hopefully to pick up the scraps.
He's slowly disappearing.
Here comes the corner. First one for Harborview. Near post flick on. And more in hope than by design.
Yeah, still a little bit low in terms of trajectory. Asking too much of the glancing header. Almost had to dip down to the ground. Look at how low he had to get there. That was difficult. Not the best of deliveries again. Maybe a little bit better than the Arnett Gardens delivery earlier.
Here's Green running into the box. He goes down, Green. To his credit, he didn't ask for anything, and the Shane Nation wasn't interested in giving him anything either. But for a moment there, I thought the Arnett Gardens defense was in trouble. Green driving at Jamar Martin.
Just a little bit of body there. I don't see anything in that.
There you
good
go.
Challenge. Didn't use his arms to maintain his space. Green.
Hyatt taking forever over this goal kick. Early in the game, I don't want to make the observation that the contest hasn't really sparked yet, although I would be correct. Give it some time to simmer. Anderson, roughed up by Bennett, the Harborview skipper, at the expense of a free kick. That's him, O'Neill Anderson, man of the match. The last time we saw Arnett Gardens in these parts, when they played Montego Bay United. Bigger Thompson floats this one long. Harris off the chest, trying to play the 1-2 with Fabian Reed. Harris walks away frustrated. This is Lutas under pressure from 2, fouled by Tamar Edwards. Early free kick taken and wasted by Harborview. That's Lutas, 23 years old.
Easy call for Nation on that occasion.
Hyatt goes long. Met by the sturdy boot of Demarley Oliver. Harris recycles. His pass is poor though. Harborview come again. Ball out to Allen. On his outside is Oliver. Allen finds Oliver now. Oliver's cross. And Allen curiously didn't catch that. I thought he could have caught that. Went for the punch, and luckily for him, the follow-up by Lutas was tame.
Not sure what Hyatt was thinking on that occasion in the goal. Here is the delivery. He almost misjudged it. In fact, I didn't need to dive. Almost came out too far and then had to get back with his arms. That should have been an easy ball for him to collect. And luckily for him, the angle of the shot was too difficult.
Here's Bennett in the midfield. Has runners both sides. Goes for Daniel Green. And that pass too long. Arnett Gardens through. So a couple of the Arnett Gardens players voicing their frustration at the surface from their midfielders. Damari Deacon certainly not happy as we look at a shot of the crowd. A good turnout, but it could have been even bigger. Here's Harborview on the attack once again. Tamar Martin goes over there like a fireman, puts out that particular blaze. O'Neill Anderson to Vishnu Harris. Nice turn. Excellent pass to Marvin Morgan. Fabian Reed darting towards the box, showing Marvin Morgan where he wants it. Still Morgan holding it up. Tries to go around his man and goes down. The assistant referee flags the play, and referee Nation awards a free kick.
They might be looking up to get away with a yellow card, probably due to the fact that it's early in the contest. Nation wants to have a word. There's a right smile from him as well. Good skill by Morgan. Here he is, looking to get past and well. I can tell you if he does that again, he'll be in the book.
Here's Anderson trying to work a shooting angle. Out to Harris. Bangs it off the side of Hugh Evans. Still Vishnu Harris. And tackled up by Lutas. But still Arnett Gardens ball, it's their throw.
Quite funny the way Wellington tugged at the shirt of Marvin Morgan. He was pulling at everything.
Hugh Evans took a blow to the kidneys Well, to Akinme just now. Was holding.
That would have been a serious ball.
Oh, there you go. To have hit both. There you go. This is Anderson catching his breath to try again for Arnett Gardens. This is Reed. Harris. Edwards. Good change of play to Deacon. What does he do now? Deacon dancing over the ball. Damari Deacon with a shot blocked by Oliver. Lutus now to Daniel Green. Harborview on the attack, but short of numbers. Good tackle by Bear Johnson. And Edwards comes in and helps his teammate. Tag team tackling on Daniel Green at the expense of a free kick. Martin.
Yeah, didn't have any help, Green. So he had to track back as well. He was a lone soldier after receiving the ball.
Deacon on the break. Not much happening in front of him. Goes to Fabian Reed. Marvin Morgan burning up the ground towards his right. Gets it. Morgan does. Still Morgan. And knocked off the ball fairly by Kareem Manning. Bigger Thompson. Out to Anderson. Arnett upping the ante in this game in the last 5 or so minutes. This is Reed. Morgan. Visional Harris offers the alternative, bursting into the box. Harris cuts his man. Still Harris. And man, well, Ryan Wellington, wise to the tricks of Visional Harris, stood tall at the crucial point, and the playmaker for Arnett Gardens frustrated with himself. And so is his coach frustrated with him, Jerome Waite.
Yeah, because after he got by the first defender, should have looked to put the ball into the box with the left boot in right here. Should have been looking for the pass there. Tried to do a little bit too much. Visional Harris, we spoke about him the start of the game, his creativity, his skill, and what he adds to the attacking force of this Arnett Gardens team, but needed to get that ball into the box. Look, should have been looking for Reed. And unfortunately for him and his coach Jerome Waite, the play broke down.
I mentioned the cut just now, and Harris left 2 men on the seat of their pants with one move. And to be fair to him, Chris, I thought the ball ran away from him just a bit when he would have wanted to cross it. So he had to take another touch to regain control and balance.
Right. Then he took 2 after that.
Point made, sir. Oliver settling under this for Harborview. Goes for the cross shot, it turns out to be, and sails over Damien Hyatt's goal. So we're into the 16th minute. That's Damarley Oliver for Harborview, and the home team offering the greater menace of the two teams.
Yeah, the game now just beginning to open up a little. Now Arnett Gardens certainly look more threatening in the last third. You can see from now that the issue for Harborview is getting numbers forward. They're very short in attack. Maybe that's why they have the best defensive record in the league.
Yes, sir. Only 3 goals conceded in 9 rounds. This is Bennett, their captain, though. Lutus. Back to Lutus. Green. Nice touch to get away from one. Gets away from O'Neill Thompson. Goes down. Daniel Green. Has to be a free kick. And it is, says O'Shane Nation, the referee.
Yeah. There was probably a foul on the play before he actually went down. I think you'll see it here. There's a first tug. That was a foul. There was slight contact made. And then the third occasion. Tried to play the advantage, O'Shane Nation, which I think was a good idea. But there.
Jabir Johnson protesting that, ref, it wasn't me. So, Harborview having a chance in a dangerous position. This can't be more than 21 yards away from Damien Hyatt's goal. It's going to be struck right-footed, it seems.
I love your calculation.
Harborview have run this drill numerous times in training. Let's see what they can muster. Harborview. The kick comes and the wall does its job. A lot of posture and bluster, but nothing much. Here comes Deacon, sprinting. Deacon still going, and scything challenge from Sheldon McCoy, who tracked him for about 30 yards to effect the tackle. Good defending. Hyde back into the midfield for his skipper, O'Neill Thompson. Surveys the landscape. Goes wide to Anderson. Anderson roughed up, knocked off the ball. Reed. His pass is cut out. This is Harris. Head up. Missional Harris pushed off the ball by McCoy. No foul on the play, says referee Nation. And Harborview come away. Lutas trying to get a run on Jamar Martin. Fouls his man in the process, and the referee flags the play.
Lutas looked a little bit surprised at the call. Almost looked like Harris had tripped, or Martin, sorry, had tripped over the ball. But I think there was a little shove in the back as well.
Yeah, but Lutas does seem to have some pace about him.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
Chris.
Well, Baby Gardner did see him run in the sands. So what that will build as well is strength.
Yes, indeed. Good pressure by Reed. This now is Harris for Arnott Gardens, surrounded by yellow shirts. Turns the ball over, Harris does. Good tackle by Tamar Edwards in the midfield. Mr. Man, Marvin Morgan, trying to find Anderson with the lofted pass, cut out. And now Green, plowing alone for Harborview out front. He doesn't get any change out of the Arnott defenders. This is Keneal Hyde. Trying to find Edwards. Comes to Deacon. Back to Johnson. The skipper wants it and gets it. Thompson. Deacon now. Has some space. What will he do? Reed. 1-2 into Deacon's path. Does he get there? Oliver with a bigger body. Controls the situation at the expense of a throw. Reed. Trying to catch that one on the volley, but didn't have his body position right. And it was a powder puff shot in the end.
Big scorer for Arnott Gardens last season, Fabian Reed. Scored in quite a few of the playoff matches last season. Then scored in the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and then in the final missed a penalty. And he's certainly been amongst the goals as well. The Arnott Gardens number 13.
The best attacker in this Red Stripe Premier League over the past several months, without a doubt, in my mind. That's Jamar Martin. Sweating heavily already, has been doing a lot of work trying to keep up with these very quick Harborview strikers. Here's Hugh Evans, swings this in. Thompson stands under it and knocks it out.
Pretty good defensive record as well, Arnott Gardens. In fact, they're the second best defensive team in the Premier League, just conceding 5 goals.
Reed uses Morgan. Anderson to his right, goes back to Harris. Missional Harris on the break for Arnott Gardens. This is Deacon and Hyde. Hyde gets it now. Oh, just behind him. Comes back to Deacon. Part-time cross. And cleared by the Harborview defense. Edwards. Arnott reset the clock on this attack. Marvin Morgan. Back to Johnson. Johnson on the foray up front. A rear foray by him. Lines up a shot. A nothing effort in the end. Comes to him fortuitously. Oh, this is Keneal Hyde. Sprung by Missional Harris. And Hyde's cross meets the forehead of the Marley Oliver, who was standing in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, a little bit untidy passing by Arnott Gardens, but good to see them coming forward.
Deacon's cross. Oh, poor effort. Kicks it into touch, and the little man is cross with himself,
yes,
as he should be.
Yeah. As I mentioned, just a bit of untidy passing as well, not accurate. And that's one of the things that we need to improve.
A live wire, the Marley Deacon. And they love their live wires here at the stadium, those fans. 22nd minute into this contest. Red Stripe Football Mondays, the leaders Arnott Gardens against 7th placed Harborview.
No surprise that the team doing most of the attacking is Arnott Gardens in the red and black. They have scored 17 goals so far this season. Harborview, they have only scored 6.
The joint best attack against the best defense.
Yep.
I wonder what will fold. Bennett for Harborview. Out to Oliver, too strong. And the skipper apologizes for the misplaced pass. Unforced error there from Harborview. This is Edwards to Harris. Hyde. Johnson to the skipper O'Neill Bigger Thompson. has all day to pass, but upset at the passing options being given to him by his players. So it's now recycled to Hyde, to Deacon, round the corner. Bad pass though, comes back to Hyde nonetheless. Deacon. Hyde. Anderson to Edwards. Patience by Arnett Gardens. It breaks for Anderson. Oh, diving tackle there from Hugh Evans. Deacon down below us, but Harborview on the attack through Green. Green taking on Martin. Still Green. Daniel Green working his way in the box. Green! Oh, the missed header by Lutas. Harborview still have it alive. Allen bullied off it eventually by Javier Johnson. And Arnett come out of their defensive area.
How did
This
that
is
not go
Harris.
into the back of the net?
We'll investigate that in short order, my friend. Harris turns it over though, loses it to McCoy. This is Oliver now for Harborview. What a chance from the Stars of the East. And Oliver kicks it into touch to the disgust of Kareem Manning.
And what a move it was by Green. We've noticed his skill so far in the play. Has a bit of speed to him here. Look at this trickery from Green. Brilliant move. Gets a lovely ball into the box just there. The dink. How did that not make it into the goal? Maybe he might have been better served going for the target himself.
The angle was against him though, Daniel Green. He had to pass it. And
We should have looked at to bend it into the far corner. Well,
so Harborview firing the first bullet, but it came up as a blank. This is the Marley Deacon. Anderson, nice step over, buys Marvin Morgan some time. Has 5 players ahead of him. One of them is Vishnu Harris. Well, O'Neill Anderson all along the ground is daisy cutter of a cross. Harris was waiting at the top of the 18-yard box. Anderson's cross, poor in the end. But Arnett Gardens defenders know that Daniel Green is not to be toyed with. Quick. And about 3 different changes of pace there just now on that passage of play to get him away from Jamar Martin, creating the chance which Harborview didn't take. Deacon back to Johnson. Looks for the diagonal. Ball goes too straight though, and meat and drink for the goalkeeper Joel Johnson between the sticks for Harborview. Manning will build from the back for the Stars of the East. No Premier League trophy since 2012 for Harborview, and Manning disappointingly advances 20 yards with the ball, 25 yards, and then kicks it into touch. Midfield battle won by Tamar Edwards. Lovely turn. Hyde. Deacon. Deacon trying to pass that through to Reed. Effort was poor though. Deacon nips in front of Bennett. Referee says it was wrong, the execution of the tackle. Deacon reacted like a child whose pacifier has been taken away, and he gets a yellow card for his troubles. Clear foul into the thigh of Kemar Bennett, and Deacon goes into the book. Here's Daniel Green again. Green trying to work the shooting opportunity, and good block by O'Neill Abiga Thompson. Arnett Gardens defenders not looking so convincing when they have Daniel Green on the one-on-one. He's getting some joy out of them. Dismissed Jamar Martin just now, Daniel Green, and unlucky because the big boot of O'Neill Thompson got in the way of his effort. Look at him taking on Martin, getting rid of the defender, and look at the shot. And Bigger Thompson comes across and slams the door shut. Good defending from the Arnett Gardens skipper.
Yeah, we spoke about the skill of Green, and on show again. First step, very good. And very skillful as well. And he uses his skill with pace, and that makes it even harder for the defenders.
Big boot swung at this ball by McCoy. Gets it as far as Allen. Allen loses out to Mr. Man Marvin Morgan. Edwards now for Arnett Gardens. Harris has it knocked away, comes back to Allen, only has 2 players ahead of him, holds on to the ball, and now launches Green. Thompson goes across. Thompson had the run on him. Excellent play from the Arnott skipper, but they turn it over to McCoy.
Former reggae boy as well, O'Neill Bigger Thompson.
Bennett goes for goal from way out, and only troubling the worms or the ants in the grass.
Well, they've been coming forward a little bit more, Harbourview, mainly due to Daniel Green and his trickery. I'm sure Bibbit Gardner in picture will be happy to see that. Only 6 goals so far this season. It's been a struggle for Harbourview. 6 goals in 9 1/4 games.
The pickings are thin, my friend.
Yeah.
Anderson gets a flick on to Morgan. Morgan blocked illegally, so says the referee.
And 3 out of those 6 goals came in a win against Boys Town by 3 goals to 0 in week 7.
Wow.
So call it 3 goals in 8 games then.
Yes, sir, that would be accurate. Anderson takes the quick free kick to Keneal Hyde. Forward to Deacon. Anderson gets rid of his man, goes down. Referee says play on, and Tamara Edwards' ball. Edwards not happy with his execution there, as he shouldn't be. The referee was about to award the free kick, but given that the ball broke to Edwards, gave him the advantage, invited him to have a pop-up goal, and his effort was disappointing. Inside the 30th minute of this intriguing battle so far, we must say. The pendulum has moved. Won't go as far to say the pendulum has swung. Bigger Thompson trying to swing it with this brilliant ball to Marvin Morgan. Morgan whips it in early, trying to find Fabian Reed. But the striker acknowledges the effort from his teammate. But it was just a yard or two too far. What a pass from O'Neill Bigger Thompson, bypassing the Harbourview midfield, and Marvin Morgan's effort was poor.
The credit must go to Hugh Evans, though, the number 30 for Harbourview, who actually sprinted back to put a little pressure on Morgan, forced him to kick it early, and unfortunately Reed couldn't get to it in time, so that was important by Evans.
Johnson of the Joel variety taking this kick for Harbourview. Comes to Johnson of the Jabir variety for Arnott Gardens, back to his goalkeeper Hyatt. Jamar Martin now in defense. Deacon comes short, doesn't get it though. Martin goes long trying to hit Fabian Reed. Comes to Keneal Hyde. Hyde forward to Deacon. 2 men attend to him. Deacon driving towards the byline, and a good block by Johnny Talbot. It's a corner. Arnott's second of the game.
Not the quickest win back Deacon, that's him in picture there, but certainly determined to get forward, likes to overlap.
What he has,
not a natural runner though.
Yeah, what he has is a change of gear.
Yeah.
His top gear is not that quick, but he can change 2 or 3 gears.
Yeah, acceleration.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hyde's free kick to the back post.
No top end speed, as you said.
No. Harris puts the cross in. Fabian Reed. Ooh, Keneal Hyde coming in at the back post, and he missed it. That was a chance for Arnott Gardens. Harris to Reed, his header. This is Visional Harris. That's Fabian Reed. And Keneal Hyde couldn't get in on the act. Harris looks up, surveys the scene, drops it on Fabian Reed's forehead, and his header wasn't accurate.
Yeah,
and Keneal Hyde just couldn't get there.
Yeah, good attempt by Hyde at the back post, but Reed should really have put that on target. That was Reed's goal to score. And by no means was a pass, certainly meant that as a header on goal.
Lutas knocks Deacon off the wall. Lutas works the shooting. Hyatt gets down low to save, and invited to clean up his own mess by his captain O'Neill Bigger Thompson, who's angry at Tamar Edwards for his weak defending. It was Deacon who was bullied off the ball by Lutas. The nutmeg on Jamar Martin, and the shot didn't really catch it flush. And Hyatt helped himself out in the end. Deacon.
Looking for his second goal of the season. Lutus scored in that game against the University of the West Indies.
Martin steals in front of Lutus. Knocks it away momentarily. Oh, ball breaks to Reed. Still Reed. Reed. Low and hard, but Joel Johnson right behind it and gathers at the second attempt.
Yeah, was a little bit worried after the first attempt. Look at this shot here. Good power behind it, bounced right in front of him. And it wasn't sure where it was after he made the initial stop.
Hard tackle on Daniel Green just now by Jabir Johnson. Referee O'Shane Nation calling on Johnson to cool it, now giving him a lecture.
Game certainly coming to life now, George.
Oh,
Certainly.
yes.
Both teams looking to make some inroads.
You see the smoke in the background? That's the jerk pan man who usually gets his fire going before the game. But given the rain, he was a bit late. And as his fire has been brought to the party, so has the heat been turned upon the field. This is Manning, the former Portmore United man. Pings this into the box, headed clear by Anderson, and on the follow-up, the shot from McCoy. Only troubling.
We've seen McCoy score some brilliant goals in his JC outfit. And would have won the title with Jamaica College a couple seasons ago. Scored a winner in the final as well. Back, I think, in 2015, if I'm correct.
Harris taking 5 touches to control and couldn't bring the ball under his spell. This is Allen driving forward for Harborview. Broken up by Edwards to Deacon. Hyde slips as he tried to bring that one down. Oh, there's a dangerous Lutus once again. Martin gets to him quickly this time. Still Lutus though. This has been a battle the Harborview forwards have been winning. Back to Allen. Andrew Allen waiting for support. Has Edwards in his back, and Edwards tackles him at the expense of a throw.
Maybe a little bit surprised we haven't seen Peter Lee Vassell in the starting lineup the last couple of games for Harborview. Certainly a very creative midfielder, and one that would have helped in terms of the imagination of the Harborview attack, considering they're not really amongst the goals by any means.
Point. This is McCoy trying to find his skipper, Kimura Bennett, with that effort. Arnott take the throw quickly.
He is on the bench though, the number 10. Coming right out of high school with Cornwall College, who have won the rural area schoolboy competition last season.
McCoy back to Manning. Manning bursting upfield past 2 players. Oh, gets the return pass. This is Kareem Manning. And Bigger Thompson just stood in his path and stuck out the boot to block the attempted cross. There's a Harborview man who was bent over double momentarily in the center circle. He's now okay. That was Sean McCoy. As Daniel Green has been prominent so far for Harborview, that man hoping that this squad can get Harborview up the ladder before even more of their big name players return from overseas. Mr. Man trying to link up with O'Neill Anderson. Yes?
Recent results have been pretty good for Harborview. 2 wins and 2 draws in their last 5 games. Of course, the last game was a loss to Reno, but gaining 8 points in their last 5 games. 8 out of 15, not a bad.
Deacon to Hyde, but Andrew Allen has been
results.
So influential for Harborview in this half. He comes away with the ball. Bennett back to McCoy. Has Hugh Evans to his left. Still McCoy, getting rid of Reed, but over dribbles it. Anderson now for Arnott Gardens. Poor pass by him. Bennett picks his pocket for Harborview. Still Bennett. Edwards on the premises for Arnott Gardens. And Edwards, he yapping at his heels. The referee awarding that free kick.
Doesn't seem that hot a night, but look at how much the players are sweating. They're dripping wet.
Did say that the
pretty humid on the field.
Yeah, the temperature will get hotter when this game started. This is Manning trying to hit Hugh Evans. Evans' control isn't good, and Hyatt just in front of Green trying to close him down. But the Arnett keeper, whose handling hasn't been all that good so far this evening, to be fair, Chris.
And has had national experience as well, Hyatt.
Big kick downfield by him. Harris takes charge of the situation.
He's been a part of the squad.
Deacon, trying to slip Kenil Hyde in, and the big boot of Sean McCoy at the death to knock it away from Vishnu Harris. Arnett with their third corner of the game.
And even though the best chance of the game probably fell to Harbourview, Arnett Gardens certainly look a lot more dangerous when coming forward and have the numbers in and around the 18-yard box.
This is Kenil Hyde. Goes for the back post once again. Manning is taller than Marvin Morgan and beats him to the header.
Might have been the best delivery we've seen so far.
Perhaps. Good work by Arnett Gardens. This is Morgan. Off the chest of Manning. This is Jamar Martin. What will he do with it? Martin to Edwards. Edwards. Poor pass. Poor pass by Edwards, because O'Neill Anderson was calling for the ball to his right, and he knocked it too far forward for Marvin Morgan to even have a chance at gathering that one. But he's a central defender by trade, Chris, so you can understand his lack of finesse in the attacking third.
You make an excuse for him.
I'm being kind.
Yeah, certainly. That would always have been difficult, especially because he didn't play it along the ground.
There's a man who knows a thing or three about winning the Premier League title. Cornell Chinsu in the center of your shot, eating some nuts.
Part of the famous Gang of Five of Charlie Smith back in 1995.
Oh yes. And the man who was a part of at least 2 Premier League winning teams
of the 5, right?
Yes. Yep. Edwards, nice tackling in the midfield. This now is Anderson. Where does he go? Under pressure, Hugh Evans took a piece out of his ankles. It's a free kick to Arnett Gardens. So we're approaching the 40th minute in this first half. It's been a good game. It's been an engrossing game so far. Harbourview have shown that they do have daggers to hurt the Arnett Gardens team. Arnett, though, have missed at least 2 good chances. Here's Hyde. Nice 1-2 with Fabian Reid. Good block. Very good block by Ryan Wellington. Evans for Harbourview. Trying to dance between 2 Arnett Gardens players. Loses out. Battles back and wins it. Does Hugh Evans. Big diagonal now. Trying to pick out Andrew Allen. Deacon.
Yeah, that would be a foul.
Just grabbed. Took a hold of Andrew Allen's shirt. Hawk-eyed O'Shane Nation seeing the infringement. There's a player down on the far side of the field that O'Shane Nation is now going across to. It's O'Neill Anderson, who felt he was roughed up by Hugh Evans. Yeah.
And he was.
He was.
Very bustling player.
Was
Hugh
he punched
Evans.
in
Here
the head?
Yes.
It was a head-to-head clash.
Barged him, yeah.
That's nothing, really.
Tell that to him.
It's a good thing his head isn't bald as yours or mine.
Exactly.
So Anderson off the field getting treatment. Jerome Waite.
Always busy on the sidelines.
Yeah, a bit agitated.
Well, the last game and the first 40 minutes of this one hasn't gone his way so far. Coming off a draw in his previous game, and then hasn't been able to break the deadlock so far, as they're undefeated this season.
Bigger Thompson heeds his keeper's call and allows it to run through.
Knows a lot about defending.
Oh yes.
Bigger Thompson, and he's working with the coaching staff of St Andrew Technical, who have found their way into the semi-finals of the schoolboy competition. So, and they boast the best defensive record as well.
Excellent.
So no surprises there.
That passage of play we didn't we caught just now, Fabian Reid, by his lonesome, 3 Harbourview defenders in attendance. The ball was a no-hoper, and he still managed to get a free kick. Excellent player Fabian Reid is. Harris has yet to sprinkle his magic dust on this game, but still hoping for full fitness. O'Neill Bigger Thompson takes charge of this one. Will he try to find the forehead of a teammate, or will he try to find the top corner of Joel Johnson's goal? Thompson runs up like a fast bowler and gives it the violence straight into the wall. Lutas to Hugh Evans. Thompson goes across. Oh, Lutus caught something from O'Neal Thompson on that passage of play. Let's see what referee nation does. This is Lutus. Thompson's foot goes up and then the arm comes across. Lutus knows that he was in a collision. He's still down. Thompson a bit cross with the reaction of some of the Harborview players.
I'm not pleased with O'Shea Nation's call either. He has something to say.
It was a foul though.
Yeah.
And Gardner, that's the former FIFA referee, a man who stood in the 2002 FIFA World Cup in Japan, South Korea. Peter Prendergast took charge of Belgium versus Brazil, a goal in which Rivaldo scored a fantastic goal. And Mark Wilmot says Belgium had a goal ruled out for a controversial foul. Peter Prendergast made his stamp on world football 15 years ago at the highest level.
Probably here to have a look at these four officials taking part today.
When they say no nonsense, they meant him, Peter Prendergast. Don't think at any stage in his life he knew any nonsense. Hyatt bangs this long. Oliver has defended well. Has had Deacon in his pocket, the Marley Oliver. Strong and quick enough. Minute added on for stoppages. Hyde dances around Allen. Still Kenil Hyde. Trying to thread that one through a sea of yellow. Unsuccessful. Oh, lovely play by Andrew Allen to get around Edwards. Edwards though, that's brilliant defending. Got back to win the ball cleanly. Harris to Anderson. Marvin Morgan calls for it. Marvin Morgan. Oh, Marvin Morgan on the receiving end of a sliding tackle from Hugh Evans. O'Shea Nation has to go to his book, and he does.
Yeah, that's certainly a booking. We mentioned the bustling nature of Evans and getting a little bit carried away, and he'll need to tone it. Look at that. It's almost like a diving contest. Came in with 2 feet, and yeah, that could have caused serious damage. Maybe lucky to get away with just a yellow card on that occasion.
Maybe because he came in from the side.
Challenge.
Yes. Free kick by Anderson. Thompson goes up. Beaten to the header though by McCoy, whereby Wellington, and Johnson comes up and bails out his defenders. So we are a few seconds away from the halftime interval. Edwards has been very good in the underguards midfield so far. This is Deacon. Looking for a passing option. Goes back to Jabir Johnson. Edwards. His skipper out of position, so he drops in as the third centre half. Deacon. Asked to run forward by the Arnett Gardens support. He drives forward, Damari Deacon. Tumbles into the box. Referee Nation doesn't see that as a foul. He calls a halt to proceedings at halftime here. Red Stripe Football Mondays. Arnett Gardens 0. Their guests Harborview 0. And a fair reflection of their toil in the first half, Chris Taylor.
Yes, certainly both teams trying to find their way. Game getting a little bit more open in the last 20 minutes or so. I think Harborview had the best opportunity to score through, of course, Daniel Green. But Arnett Gardens, of course, certainly having more players in attack and looking to break the deadlock. But as you mentioned, 0-0 at halftime, a fair reflection.
All right, so we'll be back in a few for the halftime highlights. Back with more.
One bag of gold medal pan me no. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing and tension. Red Stripe, watch out, watch out, watch out. Man shall I be the forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
Damari Deacon there coming in for some tough tackling. Arnett Gardens players largely left frustrated, and this man, quick and slippery and deadly Daniel Green, but yet to find the decisive stroke for Harbourview. So it's 0-0 at halftime between Arnett Gardens and Harbourview in this 10th round clash in the Red Stripe Premier League competition in Jamaica. A struggle so far for both teams. First half highlights: Andrew Allen to Oliver. Oliver's cross whipped in, and Damien Hyatt curiously could have caught it, didn't catch it. Michael Lutas with the follow-up, couldn't get it on target, but Oliver's cross and Hyatt's curious approach to handling almost resulted in a chance. And this was a danger man, Daniel Green. Jamar Martin had trouble with him all night. Changes of pace from Green, driving into the box, and this should have been 1-0, but Michael Lutas needed to have been a foot taller, Chris.
Yeah, certainly a brilliant move by Green. As you mentioned, Lutas maybe a little bit inside of the ball in the end, and that was unfortunate. That was the best chance for Harbourview.
And then look at this, Harris onto the forehead of Fabian Reed, miscues the header, but Kenil Hyde steaming in at the back post ought to have gotten something on it. He missed it, and it missed the target.
And that would have been an opportunity for Reed, that the person who you would have wanted the opportunity to fall to.
Lutas robbing Damari Deacon through the legs of Jamar Martin, and Damien Hyde coming up with the big save. So, the statistical report at halftime, Chris.
Yeah, certainly 3 goal attempts, just 1 on target for Arnett Gardens, 1 on target as well for Harbourview. 18 fouls shared between the two, and a card each issued by O'Shea Nation, and 3 corners to 1. Arnett Gardens certainly getting more players in the attacking third and looking to come forward, and the possession shared. But as well, at the end of the half, as you mentioned, 0-0 between the two teams.
So Arnett Gardens, Craig Butler, the father and agent of Leon Bailey, the Bayer Leverkusen star winger, showing some fancy tricks with his necklace in the stands. All right, that's Carvel Stewart on the left of picture, the chairman of Harbourview Football Club, an influential man in local football in Jamaica. Anyway, Arnett Gardens is where we're at, and the Junglists, defending champions, their season outlook 2017-2018.
Say 1 bag of gold medal pan me no. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing and gentle. Red Stripe, watch out. Man shall I better forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal win a run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
Occasion, Red Stripe Premier League Mondays. The venue, the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex in Southern St. Andrew. The teams, Arnett Gardens and Harbourview. The broadcasters, Sports Max. Your friends for the next 90 minutes, George Davis and Chris Taylor. The teams in the tunnel, getting ready to enter the field of play. It's 26 degrees Celsius on the outside, set to get appreciably hotter when this game gets underway. It's a meeting of Premier League royalty. Arnett Gardens, the defending champions, and Harbourview, former champions, both heavily pedigreed, both with a point to prove, maybe even 3 points, Chris.
Yeah, certainly. 9 Premier Leagues between these two teams. Arnett Gardens have won this competition 5 times, as you mentioned, the defending champions. Harbourview 4, but not since 2012. Harbourview in last season placing 9th. The Blue and Yellows, their lowest placing since coming into this highest level of competition in 2005.
Arnett's inspirational captain O'Neill Bigger Thompson on the right of your picture with the captain's armband. His counterpart from the Harbourview team, marching through. Not toy soldiers, these are real soldiers, men.
It's not the easiest part is to win it, but the hardest part is to defend it. So we have our work cut out on our hands.
Say 1 bag of gold medal pan me no. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing and gentle. Red Stripe, watch out. Man shall I better forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal win a run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
occasion, Red Stripe Premier League Mondays. The venue, the Anthony Sports Complex in Southern St. Andrew. The teams, Arnett Gardens and Harbour View. The broadcasters, Sportsmax. Your friends for the next 90 minutes, George Davis and Chris Taylor. The teams in the tunnel, getting ready to enter the field of play. It's 26 degrees Celsius on the outside, set to get appreciably hotter when this game gets underway. It's a meeting of Premier League royalty. Arnett Gardens, the defending champions, and Harbour View, former champions, both heavily pedigreed, both with a point to prove, maybe even 3 points, Chris.
Yes, certainly. 9 Premier Leagues between these two teams. Arnett Gardens have won this competition 5 times, as you mentioned, the defending champions. Harbour View 4, but not since 2012. Harbour View in last season placing 9th. The blue and yellows, their lowest placing since coming into this highest level of competition in 2005.
Arnett's inspirational captain O'Neill Bigger Thompson on the right of your picture with the captain's armband. His counterpart from the Harbour View team, marching through. Not toy soldiers, these are real soldiers, men ready for battle. The evening is cool, the conditions are good. The underfoot conditions, to be precise, may be a bit soft in places, but we were on the pitch, Chris, and the field is firm enough to not have them sliding around on the surface, so we should have good football.
Yeah, certainly, and that's the important factor. You want to make sure that the soil underneath is still firm, so the footing can be firm, especially when trying to execute shots and passes and so on.
All right, so O'Neill Bigger Thompson will start the introductions. Michelle Cunningham, the assistant brand manager of Red Stripe, meeting these players yet again. The sponsors love these Monday night occasions, love when Sportsmax brings the cameras and rolls out the production for occasions like this, because it represents the best of the product out there and ready.
One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a podium a sing Untitled. Red Stripe, watch out. Man shall I better forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
All right, so Red Stripe Football Monday, second half action. Arnett Gardens against Harbour View. Scenes from the first half as both teams battled, ultimately fruitlessly, as they tried to pierce the other's defense. Daniel Green working some magic down the left-hand side. Michael Luthers couldn't find the finish, and Jerome Waite was a frustrated man on the bench for Arnett Gardens. So we resume this contest with everything still to play for. If the match ends goalless, Arnett Gardens preserve their unbeaten start to the season. Waterhouse's start would be stillborn, because they really haven't had a lot of momentum so far in the campaign. What of Arnett Gardens and their magic man, Chris Taylor? The man wearing number 8, Visional Harris.
Yeah, certainly came to life early in the half and had that brilliant move to the right side of the box. Couldn't create the pass, but he's been quiet. This was a move here where I think he should have put it in looking for Reed, lost it, and since then he's been a little bit quiet, and he's certainly one of the players that, with his creative nature, Arnett Gardens will be certainly looking to him to create more opportunities for the red and black.
Yeah, Harbour View come into this game with only 6 goals in 9.5 games now, as Chris would say, and 3 of their primary goal getters, the veteran Sean Fraser, of course, Akeem Priestley, 2 of those who are missing, and then Cleon Price hobbled by a groin injury. So they're missing goals in the form of those three players, Price, Fraser and Priestley, and no doubt that this is evidence, Chris, why they aren't doing so well on the attacking front.
Yeah, and Fraser scored already so far this season. It was a give and go as to whether he would play today, and unfortunately he couldn't pass the fitness test. Of course, formerly of Clarendon College, has played at the national junior level, Sean Fraser as well, and a dangerous player and an important player for the Harbour View team in terms of goal scoring.
So Harbour View missing 3 of their primary goal getters, And they've only found the net 6 times, as Chris pointed out in the first half. 3 of those 6 goals came in one match. So they've really been woeful
against Boys Town.
Against Boys Town, who are struggling in the league. So Harbourview's travails in front of goal, well documented. Here they go again. Daniel Green on the run. Nice tackle by Tamara Edwards, who hardly put a foot wrong in that first half. Here's Marvin Morgan, stepping on the gas early, looking for support, running at players. Oh, good tackle by Manning. Dances around O'Neill Anderson. To Andrew Allen, back into the path of Manning. Looking for a free kick and he gets it. Referee saying Jabir Johnson illegally stopped Manning on his charge forward. And let's see if he's right. Well, it was a collision between Manning and Johnson after Manning had gotten rid of the ball. I didn't see a foul on that play. But Manning seems genuinely hurt.
No, there was a step. If you look at the replay, just before the replay ended, there was an unfortunate step.
Was it O'Neill Anderson
by Anderson? Stepped on, I think, his shin, or the inside of his shin, and that's his problem there. I'm quite amazed that these last couple of seasons at the numbers that some of these players wear. 43, 55. Here it is, right here when he falls. Look at this step here by Anderson on the follow through. Yes, right there. I think it was actually on the ankle or somewhere around that region.
Manning.
That will be quite sore later.
Helped back to his feet. It's a free kick within range. 6 Harbourview players taking an interest in this, and that's nerves. Ricardo Baby Gardner twiddling his fingers as Manning gingerly leaves the park, not permanently, just quickening his step a little bit, trying to test the foot as it reacts to his weight. And he's almost back to normal. He'll be back soon. 2-man wall by Arnett Gardens. Edwards and Anderson in the wall as Lutas and Green conspire. Green with the effort. Ooh, didn't miss by much, although Damien Hyatt wasn't as excited about it as I was, as he watched it all the way drift by his right-hand post, and he had reason to not be excited at all.
Yeah. Was bending too early and missed comfortably in the end. Has been the standout player so far for Harbourview this evening. Green.
Evans on a yellow card. Under pressure from Marvin Morgan. Good closing down by the Arnett Gardens winger. Evans mobile, despite looking like he's carrying an extra stone.
Very bustling player, Evans.
1 stone equals 14 pounds, Chris. So
well,
it may be half a stone, but it's still stone related. Here's Morgan to Anderson. Nice first touch. Shoved off the ball by Manning. No call on the play. Lutas asked to chase. Wasn't interested first, and invited Bigger Thompson to make the tackle, and the big man did.
Well, the heavy grass that you spoke about earlier, that's what actually held up the ball. He thought he was just going to run out, Lutas, and then all of a sudden it slowed up.
Green. Oh, lovely turn, Green to dismiss. 200 guards plays and clips it in the box. Kenny Hyde. Good defending from him. This is Bennett. Edwards clears it for the moment. McCoy. Nice pass out to Oliver. Oliver has 2 passing options. Cuts it back, but beyond the Kemar Bennett. And Arnett lived to fight another day. Mr. Man Marvin Morgan asked to chase, and a sliding tackle by Manning. Full-blooded challenge by 2 players who know each other very well. Morgan trying to get the return pass from Fabian Reed. This is Evans. And Reed challenges him successfully. Oh, felt he won the throw, but the assistant referee deeming his contact with the shoulder to have been illegal.
Not an easy defense to break down by any means. the Harbour View one. As you mentioned, just 3 goals conceded this season. Not surprisingly, if you have Fabian Taylor and Ricardo Bibi Gardner as your coaches.
Yes, telling you what to expect.
Exactly.
Fabian Taylor, one of the best local strikers, one of my favorite strikers in the Premier League over the years. Played for Central Link in St. Catherine before making the step up to the Premier League, and was prolific. Would have been even better were it not for some troublesome knees at a critical point in his career. Fabian Taylor, outstanding in his time. Mrs. Allen has been very good for Harbour View. This is Oliver. Shrugs off Deacon. McCoy now. First touch not clean, but almost got away with it. This is Harris into the path of Anderson. Back to Harris. Has some space to work with now. Harris more. Deacon making up the ground. This is Deacon! Finds the net with the low drive! The left-footed strike from Damari Deacon, combined with Visional Harris, and just like that, Arnott Gardens find the jugular of Harbour View, and they draw the knife.
Well, the 18th goal of the season for Arnott Gardens. Not sure that they should have beaten the goalkeeper in the goal. Well, beating him at his near post, Johnson, and you always say that a goalkeeper should have his near post covered. And from that angle, he needs to do better, Joel Johnson. And I think that's why his teammates are a bit disappointed, but nevertheless, an important lead for the league leaders.
I'm wondering if Johnson believed that Deacon was going to go across him with that shot, because I can't for the life of me imagine that a goalkeeper at this level is going to get beaten at his near post. To Deacon's credit, it was a fiercely hit shot. It was low,
but it was from an angle.
But it was from the goalkeeper positioned himself and gave himself every chance of keeping it out.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and just like that, Arnott Gardens put their heads in front.
As a goalkeeper, if you're beaten at the far post, we can accept that, but not the near post from that angle. And that's a little bit disappointing for Joel Johnson.
So the crowd now buzzing. The junglists in the ascendancy. And you were talking about Visional Harris moments ago, Chris. And he responded to you saying, Taylor, what are you talking about? Me not running the game? Watch this.
Yeah, very creative player. And good to see him come alive. Coming off injury as well, and it does take you a time to recover.
Get back with him.
Yeah.
Manning and Green looking after this free kick for Harbour View. Green looks despondent, but there's more than enough time for Harbour View to turn this game around. As it stands, they are losing. 53rd minute. Manning looks like the one to float this into the box. Goes to the back post.
That's a good delivery, George.
Oh yes. Met by the head of Bennett.
I don't think it was read well by his teammates.
No.
But that was a good delivery.
Rough housing between Damali Oliver and Jabir Johnson on the verbal start. Visional Harris, never far from a scrap.
I'd be surprised at some point if Harbour View make a change. I would be expecting Peter Lee Vassell at some point. A little bit of tussling that we don't really want to see.
Hyde adjudged to have fouled Bennett, and Harbour View making their way up the Arnott half like an NFL team on a long drive. Master Butler massaging his head. A sign that he's enjoying himself, Chris.
I figure.
Harbour View with another free kick from wide. 6 of them in the box in the yellow shirts. Ball swung in and met by the head of O'Neill Thompson. Johnson can't prevent it from going behind. It's a corner to Harbour View.
The last 2 deliveries by Harbour View have been pretty good, one from either side. But I still think here's the delivery into the box. Good area. You don't want it just in between that 6-yard box and the penalty spot.
Bigger Thompson doing what they coach you to do, win the first ball, and he did, making defending easy for Arnott Gardens. This is Daniel Green though, from this corner. Green's corner, Hyatt punches, double-fisted. This is Evans, good first touch. Oh, robbed by Marvin Morgan. On it on the break now. Not much in front of him. How far will Marvin Morgan go? Not far. This is Harris now taking charge. Harris beats one man into the path of Anderson. Anderson! Oh, Harris on the follow through. Misses the target and the Harborview man is down with injury. Arnett Guard is turning it up a notch on that counter-attack.
Harris a little bit disappointed. Should have been looking for the far corner, and I think that's why he's disappointed. Good move. We spoke about his creative abilities, and this was a good move on the break for Arnett Gardens. Was trying to probably look for the far point. I think he was as guilty of trying to kick the ball too hard, and maybe blocking the angle as well was the number 17 from Harborview, Ajani Talbot, who is down injured at the moment, but still a good move on the break for Arnett Gardens, and it was with that man again, Visional Harris.
Oh yes, Marvin Morgan. It's seniority, Chris. Marvin Morgan was sprinting forward, starting the counter-attack, and all of a sudden we saw him check, and Harris just take charge. No doubt he got a shout. Leave it to me.
I'll take it from here.
I'll take it from here.
Yeah. Look very dangerous when coming forward. Arnett Gardens. No surprise that they've scored 18 goals so far this season, and are probably the best attacking team in the Premier League thus far.
That man in the number 19 shirt for Arnett Gardens has had a monstrous game tomorrow, Edwards. Has tackled well, has passed well. Oh, beautiful by O'Neill Thompson off the chest and finds Marvin Morgan. Anderson comes to support him. Edwards getting in on the act. Morgan asks to chase. Manning dances around him. Still Manning. Goes down on the dive. Nothing doing. Doesn't get the call. Arnett through.
Well, as you said, went down on the dive. Begging.
Edwards. Nothing ball played forward. Oliver to McCoy. Harborview building from the back. Nice touch by Bennett to get away from Edwards. Out to Lutas. Lutas has Oliver on the overlap. Inside him now. Oliver. Bigger Thompson goes across and imposes himself on the play, but concedes a corner.
He thinks it should have been a goal kick. And there he is arguing about it with the assistant referee.
Thompson better be careful. Needs to find his defensive position.
Always been his personality, O'Neill Bigger Thompson. Aggressive, light to have a thing or two to say, even to the officials.
Oh yes, Arnett put their tallest man, Bigger Thompson, at the near post. His job, win the first ball. Can Manning's free kick evade him? If it can, Harborview will be in business. It's short to Green, back to Manning. Better angle on the cross. Oh, steps inside his man. Manning with the weaker right foot. And it's an effort that curls out of play. Goal kick to Arnett Gardens.
Weaker right foot, but too much power. Well, the irony.
Oh, yes. Weaker in terms of precision.
Certainly.
Less functional.
Still think that we need to see Peter Lee Vassell inserted into this game. I think that Harborview's issue is that they lack a little bit of creativity. They have no imagination when coming forward. And
I agree with you on that, my friend.
Hence only 6 goals so far this season. It's been a struggle.
Green to Allen. Oh, lovely play by Allen. But Jamar Martin sensed the danger. This is Harris now, going the other way. McCoy tackling up well. Illegally though, says referee nation. And as if on cue, Chris, Peter Lee Vassell is getting his warm-up bib off.
Well.
Oh, Deacon dancing around Oliver and goes down, claiming he's injured. The Barry Deacon.
That's the quickest recovery from injury.
This is him. Goes on the dance and Oliver steps in and...
Certainly was a foul.
Yes. That's our match winner for the moment. Switch of play. Evans battling Morgan. And shoving Morgan away, and that's a free kick.
Well,
Evans really has been in the wars so far this game.
That was a little bit of play from the other kind of football. The American version, because there's no part of that in this. Can't leave the ball and shove your opponent.
Harris can't get the flick on, and the goalkeeper Joel Johnson comes out and snuffs out the danger. Will feel as if he owes his teammates one. Johnson won't like to see the replay of the goal, and he goes along with this effort that Hyatt will claim despite the efforts of Lutas to close him down. Martin from the back for Arnett Gardens, allowed to advance as far as he wants, trying to find Deacon again. Oh, trying to take that one first time beyond Oliver. Missed his touch. Oliver has superior muscle and brawn, winning that particular battle. The substitution is being made. Number 6, Andre Allen. Well, Andrew Allen has worked really well, but his day is done. And the young schoolboy, the change that Chris called for, has been made. Peter Lee Vassell now on the park. Former schoolboy, we must say.
Yeah, former Cornwall College standout. Played up to last season for Cornwall College, helped carry them to the Costa Cup Championship. Himself and Jordan Fletcher, who is overseas at school.
Bennett driving through the middle for Harbourview. Linking up with Vassell. Anderson just does enough to win that ball. Vishnul Harris takes charge once again and brings Marvin Morgan into the play. Arnett streaming forward now. 7 of them attacking Harbourview. Morgan outside manning and goes down. No contact, says the referee. No foul. Martin tackling hard on Michael Lutas. And ever since Lutas displayed his pace to the Arnett Gardens defenders, whenever his back is turned, Chris, it's a hard tackle.
Yes,
they're not allowing him to turn.
Not at all.
Vassell can't get the better of O'Neill Anderson. Good defending.
Always has this languid approach. Peter Lee Vassell, very skillful youngster as well. Can score as well. Scored almost 20 goals last season in the schoolboy league. Of course, this is a much different proposal.
Oh yes, this is big man stuff. Harris, Martin and Harris clean up their error. This is Reed finding a pass in Marvin Morgan. Morgan crosses to the back stick, headed away by Oliver, and Deacon on the chase. Will he gather it? Yes, he will. Deacon dancing, stopping, and Deacon puts the cross in, and it came off Oliver, and it's a corner. To the applause of the Arnett Garden supporters, Deacon, a crowd favorite here, Chris.
Well, you can see the confidence in him now since that goal, and we're seeing all those thrills and frills before his goal, but certainly a lot more confident now and looking to take on the players, especially Oliver, who's done a reasonably good job on him so far.
Yes. Except Oliver wasn't on the premises when Deacon burst forward to score.
Correct.
The Arnett goal. This is the corner. Put in by Hyde. Martin, off the left foot, was unbalanced and was under pressure. So the result is an aimless kick.
Might have made its way close to halfway tree.
Oh yes. New ball, please. Into the 64th minute. Arnett struck in the 51st minute. Taking charge of this contest, which was even at halftime. Harbourview played well over that first half. Had the best of the chances created by either team over the first 45 minutes, Chris.
Yeah, certainly. Both teams still playing with the original formation that they started the game with. 3-4-3 for Arnett Gardens and 3-5-2.
Here comes Marvin Morgan. Has been a good outlet so far for the Junglers. It's back to O'Neill Anderson. Oh, Vasta comes in to close him down. This is now Tamar Edwards. Gets by one challenge into Reed. Reed tried to turn. And just getting a yard on the defender. And hammered a shot goalwards. This is Edwards getting by McCoy. And Reed with Talbot.
Yeah.
Right
Talbot did well,
At
though.
his back, yes, very good defending.
I was just about to say that Reed, although being the most dangerous player in the Premier League in the last couple of months, Harbourview have done a very good job on him so far this evening. He has been kept quiet. And Johnny Talbot, schoolboy up to last year for Jamaica College, played in their central defence of their winning corporate era campaign. He's been given the job of marking Reed, and he's done a good job, I think, up to this point. That was Sheldon McCoy you're looking at, who was a teammate of Talbot at Jamaica College a few seasons ago.
To support your point, Chris, one of the reasons Reed hasn't been his usual effervescent self is because of the pace of the Harbourview defenders. Usually, I see him dragging defenders all over the park.
But he's been matched.
Yes, in sectors of the pitch where central defenders don't want to go. But the Harbourview defenders have shackled him quite well because they have the matching pace.
And they've also made him play with his back to goal. They've not allowed him to turn and run at them, which is another thing. They have closed the space. Yet they still trail.
By Bennett. Oh, tried to beat an extra man when he really didn't have to. Harris moving forward but left the ball behind. Here's McCoy. Manning. Vassell. Harbourview looking for inspiration. Green. Back to McCoy. Talbot. Rear move forward for him. Goes back to Manning. Martin gets there just in front of Lutas, but Manning wins it back. Good tackle by Edwards. McCoy. Lofted ball. And oh my goodness. Poor goalkeeping from Damien Hyde concedes a corner. Real sloppy from the Arnott Gardens keeper. Maybe because he doesn't have anything to do, Chris. He's not focused on the match, not keyed in.
Looks a little bit heavy as well, Hyatt. I've noticed that over the last couple of months, especially in the mid-region. And I'd like to think that might affect agility. Here it is. And, well, no excuse for that. And if this results in a goal for Harbourview, I'm sure Jerome Waite will have a lot to say to him.
Cross swung in. Hyatt catches comfortably. No Harbourview man on the premises. Puts this one long. Here's Reed. Trying to get there. Johnson playing the sweeper keeper. Beautiful take by Marvin Morgan though. To Anderson. Deacon calls for it. Harris calls for it. Oliver lets it bounce. And cleared away by Ryan Wellington. Johnson to Deacon. Hyde back to Deacon. Anderson wants it in the middle of the park. Goes to Harris. Anderson trying to catch it one time, trying to bend it with the outside of the boot, but it's sliced off badly. Still alive though for Arnott Gardens. Morgan trying to work the little dancing routine.
That technique would have been so difficult, George.
Oh yes.
Had time that he could have controlled the ball on Neil Anderson. He could have taken a touch and then took the shot. But for a ball to be coming across you on a slippery surface, I mean, you'd have to be immaculate.
You'd have to be lucky, Chris.
Yeah, well, that too.
Morgan swings this in.
But he said it's better to be lucky than to be good.
Oh yes. Bennett dancing around that tackle, but Edwards left something in, and the Harbourview skipper, who's worked hard, has played well. Kemar Bennett.
Substitution is second from Harbourview.
Number 44 coming in for Harbourview now, Jaleel Chamberlain.
Number 16.
And number 16, Damarley Oliver. It was clear that Oliver was tiring though, Chris.
Yeah, certainly.
Given the exertions, chasing Marvin Morgan and Damarley Deacon for 68 minutes.
Seemed like he might have gotten a niggle as well.
Yes. Arnott lining up a change. And the bad news for Harbourview is that more speed is coming into the park. Steve Clark. Oh, that's a ball. Fired through by Vassell.
Too much weight.
Yeah. So Chamberlain. No relation to Alex Oxlade, who turns out for Liverpool these days in England.
Two young players being brought on by Ricardo Baby Gardner.
Substitution for Arnott Gardens. And yes, Steve Clark, number 27, another rapid wide forward.
It's Marvin Morgan who will make way.
Oh yes, so Mr. Man gets a rest.
Leading the race by number 27, Steve Clark.
Morgan seems to be carrying a
Limping a bit, yeah.
Because he doesn't come out.
He's had a pretty good game, put in a lot of miles.
Yes, as usual, industry.
Good energy, yeah. Didn't come close to scoring. I didn't really get any out-and-out chances, but the work rate was good.
So here comes Steve Clark. The feature of Arnett Gardens forwards, every man is a sprinter.
Speed, yeah. Well, we are playing in Jamaica.
Oh yes, the sprint factory, the sprint capital of the world. Vassell dancing around 4 challenges and trying to change the angle of attack, but Bigger Thompson met his pass. This is Chamberlain. To Bennett. Bennett trying to work the right left-footed cross. And foul on the play. Reed to Clark. Can he catch this? Oh yes. Clark has acres of space to run into. Still Clark. Goes for the shot! Steve Clark makes Jerome Waite look like a genius. His 3rd touch of the game. His first was the control. Second was to set himself up. Looked up and saw something that only he saw. That man still hasn't seen it. It's Arnett Gardens' 2nd goal from their substitute.
Well, you mentioned the speed of Clark. What about the finesse of the right boot? And again, questions will be asked of goalkeeper Joel Johnson. He almost looked lost between the sticks. Here the move is. Got a little bit of space. Nobody was expecting this. Neither Johnson. And well, he was a very ugly surprise for the goalkeeper Joel Johnson. Look at his face. He can't believe it. And the Harbourview team can't believe it's in the back of their net.
I did him a disservice just now. I said it was his 3rd touch. It was actually his 5th touch. 4 touches to set himself up. And I am not going to say he was going for a cross at the back post to Fabian Reed. I am not going to say that. I am going to say he meant it. Because on replay,
well, you see when he looks up, and I'm wondering if what he saw was Johnson off his line and decided, well, we'll try for it, because it was nowhere near finding his colleague. So
that's why I'm saying, Chris, I'm going to give the young man the benefit. In fact, there is no doubt in my mind. There's no benefit of doubt to give. That was a cracking finish from Steve Clark. What a substitution. Sometimes these players make coaches look like they're from another planet.
Yeah. That was a brilliant play. They're 19th of the season, Arnett Gardens.
Thompson to Harris. Harris rides a challenge well. Hyatt. Sliced clearance. Clark. His most inelegant touch of the game so far. He's been only been on for what, 2 minutes.
And a victory here this evening for Arnett Gardens will carry them to 22 points, 4 points ahead of Portmore, who are in 2nd position.
Clark wants it, gets it. Clark running at the defenders. Oh, trying to find Fabian Reed with the stop pass. Reed takes it off the defender though. Needs some help. Back to Harris.
This has hit a bit of stuffing out of the Harbourview team.
Yes, it
see
did.
the body language.
To a man, the Harbourview team sunk to the floor when that 2nd goal went in.
Yeah. Before this game, only conceded 3 goals in 9 games, Harbourview. Make that 5 now.
Reed trying to find Harris. Hyde has it on the left foot. Sets up Reed! Going for the top corner with the curler. But got a little bit too much under it, one suspects, Chris, and lifted it over the bar.
Yeah, certainly was leaning back as well. Smiles, he knew what he was doing wrong. But again, now the space is opening up for Arnett Gardens. They're finding the holes. All of a sudden, Reed is getting the passes with facing the goal, which is what you want. from an Arnett Gardens perspective and from his perspective.
Javier Johnson battling with Daniel Green. Is it that Daniel Green has run out of steam in the second half, or his teammates haven't done as good a job of finding him as they did in the first half, Chris?
I don't think he has the support. Early in the first half, he was among it. You saw him he took 2 free kicks as well early in the play. I just think that he's been a lone man up front for too often. Green, on the few occasions that he's gotten the ball, he's been left alone to try his trick because there's been no support.
Vassell.
Again, you can see
Here's
him
Green
there.
though. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, again, the ball is played to him. Look at that. There's no yellow. 20 meters either side.
Big switch attempted by Anderson, headed away. Clark nips in though. Oh, Reed, the 1-2 to Clark. Clark on the right foot! Saved! And desperate tackle by Ryan Wellington, preventing Fabian Reed from knocking the loose ball home.
Yeah, good tackle by Wellington. Well timed.
Anderson, ball not dead. Arnett Gardens, still at it. Clark. Back to Martin. Back to his skipper, Thompson.
Certainly looking to kill off the game now, Arnett Gardens.
Oh yes, playing around with it at the back. Arnett, Clark. Oh, lovely by Fabian Reed. Anderson, what are you doing? Driving into the box, goes down. The crowd bays for a penalty. Referee Nation ignores them.
Would never get that. Good defending. Try to go in between the 2 defenders. Wrong decision.
You suspected he was always going to fall at the least contact.
Exactly.
In that position. And O'Neill Anderson.
Again, you see the ball played up to Green. No one close to him, and that's the problem for Harbourview. Not enough attacking prowess.
Right on the money. Hyatt getting more touches of the ball as Arnett tried to kill some clock. It's called game management. He launches it long. Clark sprints past Hugh Evans. Clark with the cross, and Ryan Wellington. Very good defending.
Evans is tired, George.
Yes, and
He's struggling.
chewed out by his teammates.
Yeah, the Harbourview number 30. He's struggling.
1-2.
This was the opportunity, the shot. This was a good save on that occasion from Johnson. Not sure if he parried it into the right section. And that was a cross into the box from Clark, goal scorer of the second goal.
Harris to Deacon. Deacon trying to dribble between 2 players. Squeezes past and hurdles what he thought was a tackle, which didn't come. Harbourview making their 3rd change. Will they bail Hugh Evans out of his nightmare?
Yes.
Yes, thankfully for him. I'm happy for Hugh Evans, number 30.
A position that his coach would be all too familiar with.
Oh yes. And you have to have a good engine. And Hugh Evans, to be fair to him, played well for 65 minutes.
Yeah, he had a good engine for 65 minutes.
Yes, but ran out of gas after that. Was running on fumes the past 13 minutes or so. And they've taken him out of his minute. Here you go. Richard Anderson coming on to replace him. Anderson has some instructions as well. Arnett Gardens making another substitution. Are they putting on another road runner?
Why not?
Number 19 is set to go in. Well, number 18, Lamar Neal. Oh, crowd favorite. I tell you what, Chris, the Arnett Gardens attack is so quick. And there's one man who isn't even in the squad. Perhaps the fastest of them all, Kemal Malcolm.
Yeah. Lennox Russell also missing out today due to injury.
Yes.
We saw him in the preview that we showed earlier.
I'd pay to see a sprint between Russell and Malcolm. That would be something.
Dangerous player as well, Russell. Unfortunately for him, he's suffering an ankle injury, is it? I think?
At training.
Yeah.
That's what Coach Jerome Wade said. Oh, rough play there by Chamberlain. Wasn't about to take that dismissal from Deacon. Crowd favorite cult hero already, Damari Deacon. So substitution, number 17 coming out for Arnett Gardens, Kenil Hyde, has worked well. Blocking and shielding in the midfield.
Yeah, played well. Certainly played well.
And number 18, Lamar Neal, coming in.
He's on the left-hand side of the midfield. Hyde.
Neal gets his first touch, not a good one. Vassell. Oh, poor pass. Anderson steps in. Here's Neal bursting forward. Gets around one tackle. Neal on the drive. Can't believe the goalkeeper missed that. And luckily for him, it missed his near post.
Well, I'm starting to wonder really about the positioning of Joel Johnson. I don't think he needed to dive if he was aware of his far post. That angle doesn't show it. It was well wide. Look at that.
Arnett Gardens substitutes making their presence felt. Steve Clark decisively so. Lamar Neal almost following suit. Here's Harris trying to nutmeg Kemar Bennett, the Harborview skipper, not taking that. Head tennis. Oh. Jabir Johnson going in hard, and Chamberlain going in hard for Harborview. The Harborview man gets the call. Final 10 minutes or so of normal time.
Just out of school, Chamberlain, I think a year. No. So
Vassell.
too this man.
Vassell. Oh, poor touch by Lutus. Very poor touch by Lutus. Almost as if Vassell played that pass off a wall.
Yeah. Yep. Hasn't really moved from that position all game. Did he?
Harris felt he was fouled. Oh, Lutus getting away from a very, very aggressive tackle from Edwards, who's had a very good game for Arnett Gardens, but now blots his copybook by going into the referee's book. Yellow card for an aggressive tackle. Yeah.
Are always surprised that they go into the book. It's like, what did I do, referee?
This is Lutus.
This is it here.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
More for intent than actually making contact.
Edwards back to his feet, combining with Neal. Deacon out to Harris. Bad pass. Bennett. Oh, expansive from Steve Clark. Really feeling confident now. Anderson trying to dribble by two. This is Edwards. Lifts it to Harris. Visional Harris for Arnett Gardens, driving forward and knocked away by Sheldon McCoy, who has gotten through a lot of work for Harborview. And they haven't played badly, Chris. We can't say that Harborview came and in terms of the game didn't turn up.
No, they were organized, certainly for the first 50, 60 minutes. They were very well organized. Yes, they conceded a goal, which to me was a more goalkeeping error than their lack of what could I say, arrangement or organization in their defense. But I agree with you, they haven't played badly at all, but they've been lacking in the final third, that's for sure. They need to get a lot more players forward. And you're really asking too much of Green if he is the only player who is going to be in the final third of the opponent.
Yep. Neal's
he
cross.
is skillful, but you're asking a lot for him to take on 5 players.
True.
On a repeated basis.
Rene Lloyd has come in for Visional Harris. Harris returning from a hamstring injury, so they're giving him an easy introduction or reintroduction to the team, and Lloyd will help Arnett to see out this game. This is Neal forward to Reed, back to Lloyd. Edwards, really been impressed with Tamar Edwards' display this evening. Back into defense for Javier Johnson. Talbot clearing the lines for Harborview and following it up. Who do you consider to be your man of the match here? This is Deacon. Must be a candidate. Oh, Deacon tricks and whips a cross in just behind Steve Clark and runs out a touch for a Harbourview throw.
There's one of your candidates. He's been very good, Deacon. Scored a goal from the first half. I thought he did very well with his runs on the left-hand side. His crosses into the box, and then got his goal in the second half. And after that, we've really seen a lot of skillful play from him. And that cross was a pretty good one as well. But you did mention Edwards. Edwards has had a very solid game, the number 19.
Oh, yes. Shot on target! Damien Hyatt pulls out a big save and one was needed. That was the substitute for Harbourview, Richard Anderson, taking aim. And Damien Hyatt,
very good save,
came up with a big intervention. That was goal-bound. Brilliant stop.
And the ball was swerving back into him. Almost went too far. And a good save to get it over his crossbar.
Green's cross. Hyatt comes in. Ball loose. Knocked in. Harbourview pull one back. It's a substitute. Chamberlain who's claiming it. Hyatt didn't gather cleanly from Daniel Green's corner. This is the corner. Hyatt doesn't gather cleanly. It ricocheted off the back of a Harbourview player. And Chamberlain
finished it up
with the muscle, determination, lashes home for 2-1.
But Hyatt there, he just flaps at the ball. He needs to come with a decisive punch. We've seen him so far this evening. He's not been good with his punches. He's made a good save 5 minutes before, not good with his punches, and it cost his team there. Just like that, George. 4 minutes to go. It looked like Harbourview were out of the game. Game on.
Oh yes, a result still possible for Ricardo Bibi Gardner's team. That man could be the match winner for Arnett Gardens, Steve Clark. Well, he was always shaping up to be the man who scored the decisive goal.
Yeah.
But now with only 1 goal in it, his could win it.
Have had nothing coming forward really. Harbourview, and out of nothing, well, Hyatt will be disappointed. We've seen some disappointing,
some poor
moments, some moments that need to be better from both goalkeepers.
Here's Green running at Martin again. These two at it again. Green trying to flight that into Peter Lee Vassell's path. Rene Lloyd to Fabian Reed, doing well to hold and turn, and fouled in the center circle.
I'm surprised there that Green had an opportunity to take on a player, create a shot. He was on the edge of the 18-yard box. I'm surprised he didn't look to get past that play and then let fly with the right boot. And at this stage, why not? He's been the most likely to score. Green, here he is again.
Yes, fouled by Johnson.
He's had a good game as well, Green.
Oh yes. And now Manning, Harbourview pushing at least for an equalizer. If they get that, they can dream of more. Manning's long kick that Hyatt handles well this time and boards it out to Reed. Oh, beautiful first touch by Fabian Reed, being manhandled by Talbot.
Talbot won't give him any room. Talbot has defended well this evening as well.
Has been like a second jersey for Fabian Reed at Giant Talbot.
Yes, certainly. On very few occasions has Reed been able to face the goal that he's looking to score in. There again.
Oh, lovely turn by Green to get rid of Anderson. And now trying to get Bennett going. Poor tackle. Bennett with a shot! Daisy cutter, but missed the far post. And Green is down on the turf, despondent that his captain went for glory rather than play the ball in his path. But this is Edwards, one of the few tackles he has missed, and oh, the captain drags his shot horribly wide.
To be fair to him, there was no player in an advanced position that he could have played it to. Everyone was behind the play and scuffed it badly in the end. But again, you saw some lapses in the defense of Arnett Gardens and allowing some what you'd call half chances.
Edwards didn't have to go to ground in my book for that challenge.
Yes.
Just needed to have tracked the ball, but in his desperation he presented a chance to Bennett. This is Clark. Goes on the run once again. Anderson on the overlap.
These are the moments in games that it's so easy to lapse.
Oh yes. Lloyd overruns that ball and robbed by Harbourview. The Stars of the East coming once again. Bennett dances past Edwards and goes for the long pass, and again the skipper, his execution poor.
That wasn't even close.
And Hyatt wasting some time.
Needed a chip instead of the float on that occasion. Needed to just chip it with a bit of backspin so that Vassell would have had an opportunity to get to it. That's Peter Lee Vassell there, the number 10.
3 minutes of time to be added on. Well, we're into those 3 minutes now. Neil for Arnett Gardens. Excellent work to win possession. Anderson. Under pressure from Manning. Going in the wrong direction, Anderson. Manning keeps the pressure on. This is good football. I was wondering why the fans were moving so quickly to leave the venue, but it's because of a light drizzle.
Oh yes.
Martin pumps this long.
It's been rainy days of recent in Kingston.
Clark can't get there as the fans leaving the stands like ants leaving an anthill when smoke has been put in it.
Very few umbrellas, considering it's a stand that doesn't have a cover.
And women don't want the expensive hair to get wet. Here's Reed. Reed looking for a left-footed drive. Johnson blocks it this time, gets down low early.
Few occasions Reed has had that opportunity at goal. He's been kept quiet.
McCoy into the back of Neil. No foul. This is Anderson. Anderson, as he over dribbled it, no, gets around McCoy. Still Anderson, full of running. In the 92nd minute, Clark. Oh, that ball runs away from him. The fans will say that the rains came at a good time. They basically got their money's worth because we're in the dying embers of the contest. Manning weaving past a few challenges. So
it's getting a little heavier now.
Oh yes. And the fans leaving the concrete jungle because it doesn't have a roof.
And there are very few umbrellas.
And there are very few umbrellas, and the ladies don't want the expensive hair to get wet, Chris.
So they're using the, what is that, red stripe cushions, it seems like.
There you go. What better cushion to have?
Exactly.
Clark can't find it. Bennett does for Harbourview. Bennett whips it around to Green. His control lets him down though.
First touches have been so inconsistent from this Harbourview team.
Here's Deacon. Inside to Lloyd. Clark on the run. Ball not accurate though, and the referee O'Shane Nation calls a halt to proceedings. It was 0-0 at halftime. The teams evenly matched up to the first break in the game. But soon after the resumption, Arnett Gardens struck decisively through Damari Deacon. Steve Clark sent them ahead. A scrambled goal from Chamberlain at the end for Harbourview for 2-1. But the right team won the game. Chris Taylor.
Yeah, deserved victory for Arnett Gardens. Certainly looked better in the final third, in the attacking third, and a good victory for them. They remain on top of the Premier League. They move to 22 points from 10 games, and there it is, Arnett Gardens 2, Harbourview 1, and Harbourview unfortunately will remain in 7th. And we pause for a short break. We'll be back in a few.
Say one bag of gold medal pan me no. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem to. Red stripe, watch out, watch out, watch out. Man shall I make forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal win a run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
So welcome back. There you have it. Arnett Gardens 2, Harbourview 1 at full time. Deacon and Clark in the 51st and 72nd. And Chamberlain with a consolation in the 86th minute. Let's have a look at how it all unfolded for this game. There it was from the start. Arnett Gardens looking better coming forward and putting the plays together. This was Harris' skillful move, and this would be the first goal for Deacon. Goalkeeping error, in my opinion, from Joel Johnson. Should have been covering the near post, but a good strike nonetheless for Damari Deacon. And that was after 51 minutes. And Arnett Gardens would take an important lead. Good strike with the left boot, good pace behind it. And this would be the second from the substitute, Steve Clark. Just a glance up at the goalkeeper off his line, and look at that for a finish. Brilliant. Joel Johnson in no man's land, and he was just as surprised as we were, Joel Johnson, but nevertheless an excellent strike from Steve Clark. This is in the 72nd minute, his first few touches of the game, and he found the far corner of the Harbourview net. 2-0 to Arnett Gardens after 72 seconds. Harbourview would try to come forward. This was a lovely shot by the substitute Richard Anderson, and an excellent save as well by Hyatt in goal, thumping it over the bar. Then this was a corner that resulted, and it was a consolation for Harbourview in the 86th minute. Scrappy defending by Arnett Gardens, and Hyatt should have done better with that punch, but Chamberlain determination and a goal for Harbourview. It wouldn't be enough as Arnett Gardens would complete the 2-1 victory. Let's have a look at the stats. 11 shots, 5 on target for Arnett Gardens, just 2 on target for Harbourview. They scored 1. 31 fouls between the two teams. It was an intense encounter. 3 yellow cards, 2 to Arnett Gardens and 1 to Harbourview. And the corners evenly shared possession in favour of Arnett Gardens. As to the scoreline, as they have won this one and remain on top, 2-1, as we toss the judge who has the most valuable player of this game.
All right, so I'm here with the man of the match, Damari Deacon. First award to be presented to you by Michelle Cunningham, assistant brand manager of Red Stripe.
Hi, Damari. You did a really good job, Arnett. You guys have the winning formula. Congratulations from Red Stripe.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right, so I grab a few. Well, this is your trophy from Sportsmax, your man of the match trophy. You can put the beer down. Never mind. There you go. All right, tell us about the game. Your goal. The goalkeeper seemed to expect you to kick it across him, but he went to the near post. Why?
Because in training Saturday morning, I scored a goal just like that. I executed that right at the near post at Damien Hyatt. So I know I can do it. And I just like this match. I just always play good against Harbourview. I don't know why, but I have the spirit to play good against Harbourview.
I must ask you this, Damari. Why does the Arnett Gardens support? Why do the Arnett Gardens supporters love you so much?
Because they know my story. They know say I'm a youth but come off the street, so they know my story. So this is just a real youth playing football. Yeah, it's just a natural talent.
Yes.
And a born junglist, community baller. So people love me over here, you know.
And you love them?
Yeah, I love them a lot. A lot.
Damari, congratulations, all the best. Enjoy your beer and put up your trophy.
Yeah, thank you very much, and you're welcome. I like to get enough more man of the match.
Excellent, sir. All right, Damari Deacon there, the man of the match. He plays for Arnett Gardens. I'm going to speak now with the Harbourview coach, Ricardo Bibi Gardner. Not the result that he came for, but on what we saw from commentary, Ricardo, there isn't a lot that you'll be unhappy about despite the result.
Yeah, I think we gave up 2 cheap goals, and that's what cost us the game today. I think we could have played way better than we did. We show a little glimpse of what we can do going towards the end of the game, and just have to get back to the drawing board again.
How pleased were you with the? Well, let's do the game half by half. The first half at the end of 45 minutes. What were you thinking?
I was thinking that we can go on and win the game once we put the ball down and play the way we can play. And I didn't think that we did that enough. So we just have to try and be consistent where playing our game is concerned.
Knowing you, Ricardo, and how you analyze things, I know you won't be happy when you see the replay of the goals from the second half. Beyond those two goalkeeping errors, one goalkeeping error at least, you really think that your team could have taken something from this encounter?
Yeah, definitely. But as I said before, we just have to get back on the training ground. It's a quick turnaround on Thursday, so we just have to forget about this one and prepare ourselves for the next game.
All right, Ricardo.
Learn from this game and make sure what we did this game, the mistakes what we did in this game doesn't happen going forward.
All right, repeated. Ricardo, thank you very much. All the best for your next encounter.
Thanks you.
Ricardo Gardner, the coach of Harbourview, and his team finished on the losing end 2-1 to 2-1 to Arnett Gardens over Harbourview in this encounter. I'm stalling for time because the winning coach is joining me now. Coach Jerome Wade, talk to me about the 90 minutes, your impression of the game.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations to the Arnett Gardens team. Well tried, Harbourview. It was a cat and mouse first half. If you notice, no team want to give away anything. As a result of that, in the second half, at the halftime break, when I spoke to the team, I let them know that the midfield needs to step up and we need to start like more, offensive channel passes in which you could have seen a difference in the Arnett Gardens team. But, the final score is not a true reflection of the game based on that soft goal that we gave up in that latter part of the game. But overall, it was a good tactical game.
Damari Deacon spoke to us on receiving the Man of the Match award and saying that the people at Arnett Gardens, the fans, love him because he's one of them and they know his story. How pleasing it is for you to see the performance from him and him getting the Man of the Match award.
Well, it is good, and this is his fourth season playing, despite of his stature, and he's an electrifying player. Away from the goal that he scored, to see Steve Clark coming from the bench and to score that goal, that would have scored at every level. It was an outstanding, team performance where the two goals are concerned. But give the youngsters credit because on a given day, they rise above expectation.
Excellent, and you have quality youngsters pushing some very good veterans and solid veterans for a place in this 11. You have a happy squad at your disposal, Jerome.
Yes, definitely, and we have a pretty much long season based on the amount of games we have to play, including the club championship. So this also give those players who are back from overseas, they know that they have to work much harder to get themselves up to par.
Thank you very much for speaking with us and congratulations on your 10th game without a defeat, your 6th win of the season. All the best.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Arnett Gardens continue to set the pace in the Premier League, unbeaten at the start of the campaign. Just had a quick look at the records since 2012. Chris, if we go back to 2012, which is the last part we could have checked while we were on air, no team has gone through the first round of the competition unbeaten. The Arnett Gardens are on the verge of doing that because the first round has about 11 games.
Correct.
And they were full value for their 2-1 win this evening.
Yeah, certainly. Just one more game in this first round, and Arnett Gardens really a thorough performance. As you said, 6 wins and just the 4 draws. They have been excellent. Certainly look good in the final third, and no surprise that they have come away with a victory this evening.
Yes, indeed. And Harbourview, Ricardo Gardner, in contrast, would have been pleased with what he saw up to half-time, but as he said, he thought they could have built from there, but a goalkeeping error softened them up, and then at the end, they just didn't have it.
Yes, certainly. I think that Ricardo Gardner and the Harbourview team certainly not looking good, not enough attacking prowess in the Harbourview team, and as you mentioned, Green up front all alone just certainly wasn't enough for the Blue and Yellows, and they need to get more players coming forward.
Yes, indeed. So the story from the Tony Spalding Sports Complex on this night: the rain is coming now. The drizzle sent the spectators scampering home a little bit earlier than they would normally have left the park, but they left happy, the majority of them, because their team Arnett Gardens beat Harbourview 2-1 to maintain their unbeaten start to the campaign, and they're on the verge of finishing the first round unbeaten. That probably has never happened in the local Premier League a season before, certainly not in this format of the competition. Arnett Gardens on the verge of history. On behalf of the entire team, George Davis and Chris Taylor, we bid you farewell.
For me say one bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem. Red stripe, watcha. Band shall I be the forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Pop down we run a marathon boy. Them wish I never made it that the champion boy pan. Nah man I don't a songsters boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah yo.